In 12 months of running, what have I discovered about myself? Taking to running was something I never believed was possible because I had so many breaks, so much degeneration of my body. I didn't think even just basically running was possible, and yet I had a dream of doing something that was bigger than that, and I had to find a way, the confidence to actually start. So in that 12 months of running, I discovered that you have to put your ego aside and you have to actually start somewhere. So literally for me, I had to start at the 30 seconds of run, 4.5 minutes. 4.5 minutes of walking. And then I had to put my ego aside again a little bit more, because normally when I walk pretty fast. But if I was going to do this whole running gig, I had to learn to walk slow enough to let my heart rate recover to make the 30 seconds work. That was a big ego to put aside, to realize what you were doing in your normal walking wasn't letting your heart recover enough to do the next 30 seconds of running. 30 seconds, and I found it almost impossible to do. So that was the first big thing. I had to allow myself to put my ego aside. Then I had to put my ego aside to understand that my running at my speed could not overtake anyone in walk. That's just where it was. My body, to allow myself to do it over again and repeat it and back it up 2 or 3 days later and do the next run, had to take it genuinely slowly. The biggest thing with the first 30 seconds and then the first minute and then the first 90 seconds after that was about just keep the legs moving. No matter how out of breath you felt, no matter how worn down, no matter how jaded and jarred your body felt, keep going for that. You were going to rest for 4 minutes. You were going to rest for 3 minutes. You were going to rest for 2 minutes as those times changes. But you had to just keep going, and you just had to keep committing. So the next biggest thing was about accountability. The accountability took a little while to understand, because I'd allowed myself to be accountable for different things, and at different times in my career I'd mostly been accountable to myself. But in this time I needed the accountability to be outside of me, because I knew the pain, the disillusionment, the obstacles would feel too big. Whereas if I gave myself accountability to someone else or something other than myself, I could find a way to pick myself up. And it was that allowed the progress to slowly keep inching forward. So instead of doing, where you feel inspired and you feel motivated and you do one big month, and then for whatever reason, life gets in the way and you don't stay accountable to yourself. And suddenly 3 months pass before you go for the next run. And you think to yourself, why am I bothering starting again? But the accountability to something else and something bigger, the program that I had and my running coach, allowed me, when days I didn't feel like doing it, even if I very occasionally had to edit it a little bit, just to be able to get through if you were feeling sick and you weren't able to really do a full run, or it was driving rain or something else, you still wanted to do something. You still looked to actually do the thing. So a lot has changed. Someone else walking past me now running would not think of a person that has run for a year. But I know myself, my body is stronger. I know myself, I know better, and I know more about my body than I did before. I know where my current limitations are. I know what's possible. I am in better health. All those things to the outside weren't observed until probably I was 6 months in, when people started to think that I had changed my fitness, had changed my health. But that's 6 months of commitment behind the scenes. And that's so many things in life where change is happening, but it's happening behind the scenes. And the amount of change that happens that you've been working hard at before anyone else sees it is often in that 3, 6, 9 month period. It doesn't make the next things easier, but it just feels like you get a little bit of validation. And sometimes you need that validation to keep moving forward. So 12 months on from starting my running program, what have I learned? I've learned accountability is important. I've learned putting aside pride and ego is important, because that allows you to start and just be where you're at. Some of those things are hard to do. Some of those things are feeling like they're impossible. However, if you're going to actually make progress, if you're going to actually live closer to your dream, then those are the things that need to happen. Filming out like this in an open space, just walking around, is a reflection of how much I don't mind that people see where I'm at. Before, I had to run at times where I didn't expect to see anyone, because that's the only way I could feel I could be out and about. And if that's the case for you, then that's what you do. And maybe you do that for 3 months, maybe you do that for 6 months, maybe you do it for 18 months. But if it keeps you progressing, so be it. It's progression for you, not for other people. Their thoughts are for you. Then it allows you to free yourself from those perceived thoughts of others. In the end, it doesn't matter. Someone walking past you, someone running past you, a dog and their human walking the other way, often if you smile and say hello, that's fine. You don't have to feel intimidated, inhibited by it. It's just where it's at. So in 12 months of running, what have I learned? It's better to be doing than not. It's better to have failures and reassessing. It's better to try some things. I got to do a triathlon. I could never imagine. It was only a super sprint, but to me that was everything. Maybe you'll find something that's everything for you. I hope you do. I hope you find something that gives you the inspiration to try something that you've been putting off, and find the smallest step that is possible to do it. Good luck. Learn to be kinder to yourself, and learn to find the place that's accountable and doable. Just go for it. Just go for it. Who cares what other people think? Who cares what your own thoughts have been beating you up with? You make yourself accountable for long enough, changes will happen. They mightn't be entirely in the direction you're first hoping, but there'll probably still be something better in the future. Good luck. Go for it. Remember to be kind, and the most important person to be kind to is yourself. Please like and subscribe. Share if you find anyone that's struggling with some thoughts and wanting to go forward. And remember, it's a process. It's a process that takes time. In life, there's often not very many shortcuts. But if you find a way forward, find your tribe, and be accountable to yourself, anything is possible. Good luck. Go for it.